Sudhir Krishna, do you want to explain about this whole aspect that we are trying to understand here? We saw about how there have been tolls that have been increasing, the tax that seems to be increasing constantly. But is the economics around this? Is it fair? Why is this toll increasing in such a way, especially when you see that possibly much of the cost has been already recovered or is in the process of recovering? In some cases, it's already been recovered. So if you could explain this to us.
Yes. So I think it's a very important question because now that the country is moving towards development at a faster pace and we want to catch up with the global economies, developed economies, road network plays a very important role in facilitating the movement of goods and people also. And therefore, we do require highways, good highways, and investment has to be made in a much bigger way. Now the NHAI is spending close to 2 lakh crore rupees every year. And from where will this money come? This money has to come primarily from the users of the road only. And you should also know that national highways constitute only 2% of the country's road network. And therefore, investing huge amount on national highways, money on the national highways will require recovery of the cost so that the money meant for road sector, for rural roads, for the roads in the districts and so on, which are the largest, very large segment of the road network, do not get deprived of the funds. So tolling the national highways is highly justified to make the roads, these national highways, financially viable. But you have raised a very important question as to how much the toll should be and whether the toll can be increased. The rules are very clear. As early as 2013 January, the Ministry of Road Transport has issued a very clear guideline that annual balance sheet of the highway projects has to be prepared. And the balance sheet will have on the expenditure side the capital cost of different type, including the land acquisition cost and the road development cost and so many other costs, whatever is invested on the road, that cost on one side, and from the toll and other whatever ways that they can recover the cost, and the two have to balance. It has to balance, and maintenance charges also are part of the expenditure. Every year the balance sheet has to be published. So this balance sheet will show that no excess collection is made. So if we have to criticize, the C&AG may be justified if the balance sheet is not properly prepared. But that may not be the case in every case. Here and there may be exception. But by and large, there are no serious allegations of large scale, wrong in the balance sheets, and the tolls are mathematically calculated and published. The rules also provide that once the capital cost is fully recovered, the authorities, whoever is operating the road.
So let me just come back to you, sir. Let me just get in the introductory remarks from others as well. Let me just come to you, sir.
Sure.
Dilip Cherian, how do you respond to this? One, Dr. Sudhir Krishna saying that, listen, the money needs to be received, recovered, or taken, collected from people who are using the roads. It's the citizens who have to bear it. So it is justified. And secondly, about the CAG report, the reference that we brought in about how there was over 130 crore rupees that were collected as tolls just from 5 toll plazas in southern India as complete violation of rules are just aberrations. How do you look at this?
Sneha, there are two aspects to this. One is ethics and the other is economics. The ethics part of it has to take into account, are we charging too much for those who are users of the road? There is no getting away from the fact that the users are the ones who have to pay. The second thing is, do we need to stop collecting tolls the moment you've made up the money on a particular stretch? How does government get the money to invest in new stretches or stretches where traffic is yet to build up? Because the idea is that these 2% or 4% of national highways should not eat up the entire budget of the Road Transport Ministry. That's the ethics part of it. On the economics part of it, I think there are huge numbers of studies globally as to what is the appropriate fee to charge. Levying a toll is actually a fairly well recognized science today. I think the guesswork needs to come out of it. And I think also many of these toll hikes are a recognition of the real rates of inflation which are happening in the country, which may or may not find its expression in other forms of media. So, in a sense, what we are seeing is that economics is pushing some of these tolls higher, and that is going to be a burden, but that is part of the burden of inflation on the consumer, the customer, or the commuter.